Eric Trump was he on Jesse Waters' show? I think so, because this is where they all go now. Eric Trump was on Jesse Waters' show. Eric Trump on Father's Return to Butler. It was a beautiful moment. Here we go.
Eric Trump's the executive vice president at the Trump Organization. So you were there on Saturday at Butler. What was the emotion like, Eric?
Jesse was incredible. I've never been more proud of my father in my entire life. I was
and it's not saying a lot. I went right back, Jesse, right before after that, like since then, I haven't been as proud either, because what he did after was just frankly gross. And I'm the one who has to clean him up.
Next to Corey's wife, his two beautiful daughters. You had literally his firefighting uniform up in the corner. It's actually up there at the corner of the screen. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. People as far as the eye could see. I went out there on stage right before he spoke with Laura. I couldn't see the end of the crowd. There was at least 100,000 people there.
No, there wasn't. There was about 21,000 people there. Period. Not, like, genuinely. I'm not fucking around. I'm not just... this isn't a dig. This is just reality. There's 21,000 people there. The place couldn't even fucking hold 100,000 if it wanted to, and it was nowhere near full. Like, it's just absurd. There's about 21,000 people there. The whole area could probably hold about 30 if they really shoehorned everybody in. He's nuts.
They were going crazy. Unlike the guests that...
I think they were already crazy.
You just played, these are not stupid people. In fact, they're the extremely smart...
Why'd you say in crack? What? Are you saying that Trump supporters smoke crack?
Crazy. Unlike the guests that you just played, these are not stupid people. In fact, they're the extremely smart people.
Yes, they're the extremely smart people. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
They're amazing people. They're people that love this country, love our nation, and want to see America get put first again. And we're not getting put first. We are falling behind in absolutely everything we do.
Except the economy and our political standing in the world and our security and our productivity and our infrastructure and our manufacturing and our oil production, where we're at an all-time high again.
And it's infuriating to all of them. And that's why it's not a political movement, Jesse. This is a movement
okay, that's just rude. Sorry. Wait. I apologize. I should have... that's just bad. Ladies and gentlemen, so wrong of me. I didn't know. I couldn't have known that they were going to go to such a blatant nutshot right out of the gate like that. I thought they would have had more or / less respect for Eric to do that, because woof. I apologize. You might want to turn away. Man.
Total love. These people love my father. He's not a...
Yeah, they don't love America. They love your dad. Yeah, I get it. I get it. He's Pat Robertson if Pat Robertson fucked a circus peanut.
Politician, right? He's not a politician to them.
He was. He was president of the United States. He's been campaigning the entire time. He's a politician. As a matter of fact, I would argue that campaigning makes you more of a politician than winning does.
He's literally a savior of this country. The one person...
He's literally a savior of this country. And, obviously, look, COVID, the BLM riots, but nobody's perfect.
Person who will take every literal and figurative bullet for this nation time.
No, he will not take every literal or figurative bullet. First of all, figuratively, he's a complete wuss and a weakling when people make fun of him. He's an absolute bitch when this stuff happens, and he whines and rides and gets all fucking upset, and he can't stop himself. For every dig that anybody makes, just grinds on him for weeks. So he doesn't just take every figurative bullet. And he doesn't take any actual bullet. As a matter of fact, the only people that actually took a bullet was fucking Corey Comparator and the two other people who were wounded.
Time and time again. It's funny, you just watched Hillary Clinton talking about, being the arbiter of truth. I mean, this is a person who literally wrote a dirty dossier about my father, and yet...
She literally didn't. That guy that fucked your sister wrote it. And the Washington Examiner, I think it was it the Free Beacon? Free Beacon. bought it because they were looking for Trump Oppo research because they were supporting DeSantis or some asshole, and so they wanted to like cut him off ahead of time. And then when they decided they're just on board with him being a complete, they're like, oh wait, sorry, he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 2.5 decades? Why didn't you say so? And they decided they didn't want it anymore. So Christopher Steele, who fucked your sister, sold it to the Hillary campaign, took it to them and said, would you like to buy this? And they bought it and they're like, we don't need to use this. This is all pee-pee tape bullshit. We don't need this. We're going to beat him anyways. And they didn't use it. And he took it to the FBI. He was like, wait a minute, these are fucking crimes. Yes, Ivanka slept with Christopher Steele. That's the story. That's the allegation that Christopher Steele and Ivanka Trump had intercourse, bumped uglies, knocked boots, made the creature with two backs. Yes.
You know, she's the arbiter of truth. And
that's the allegation. Whether it's true or not, only the two of them actually know. But that's the general belief.
Every single one of those people in the crowd recognizes that. They recognize the games that the Democrats play. They recognize how they put this country last.
I gotta say, if he represents America first and Democrats put this country last, literally, because I love how Eric has no idea what the word literally means, literally. But if your dad really is the only person that can put America first and they're literally trying to put America last, why is he still alive? Why would they send somebody who couldn't finish the job if it's that important to them? Or could it possibly be that you're full of shit?
They recognize when Kamala Harris, wants to give residents of North Carolina $750 as their home floats down a river.
Well, yeah, they'll get a lot more later when they're trying to like rebuild the house, restart their business, rebuild that place, pay their medical bills. There's a bunch of other stuff. But right now, so you think it's a slam that as soon as their house is floating down a river, before it's even stopped floating, she's throwing $750 in their hand and going, get to a fucking hotel, clean yourself up, get yourself some clothes, some tampons if you need it, buy your fucking medicine, get some fucking food and get in there, and then we'll talk to you about making sure you have some place to stay until you can get relocated. Yes! Yeah, it's called immediate needs, you dumb motherfucker. That's right. So the fucking Biden-Harris administration is so fucking good at this, you dipshit. They got money in your hand before your house even fucking sinks. How do you like that? And your dad's payment for this shit was less. He only gave $500 in immediate relief. Right? Why'd your dad only give $500? Why was the immediate cash that they gave out only $500?
They recognize that Donald Trump kept them out of wars. They recognize that my father...
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Literally, the Middle East war started because of actions taken under Trump. Do we immediately think that all wars start just because somebody flicks something immediately? Or that somebody might go, what the fuck? And then start planning something? Yahweh Sinwar said they planned October 7th specifically after Donald Trump recognized the Golan Heights, moved the embassy, and said Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And they decided at that point there's not going to be a two-state solution, that the Trump administration and the trend towards in America was that Israel could do whatever the fuck it wants, and they were eventually going to come. So he decided today's the day, and as soon as Iran gives us the go-ahead, we're going to fucking kill as many people as we can. And he said so the day after. He sent a note in Hebrew to Netanyahu and said, hey, let's be friends. We'll have a conditional, truce between the two of us. You start funding money in here, and we'll start acting like the fucking PLO did, and we'll start behaving more like the West Bank. And did they? No, it was a trick, and Trump fell for it because he's a fucking moron. That's what's happening. The Middle East isn't starting now because by the way, it's not directly starting now because even stuff Trump or Obama or fucking Clinton or anybody did. It's been going on for fucking millennia. But the newest outbreak of fighting literally was like that fuse was fucking lit the day Trump recognized the Golan Heights. And it's why other presidents hadn't done it. It's why they all ran on doing it and were like, wait a second. Once they got in, they're like, yeah, if you do that, then this happens, then this happens. And they're like, oh, well, then never mind. And Trump went, so? I'm not going to be able to fuck it. I don't care. They're going to kiss my ass. I'm going to get a Trump Tower Tel Aviv if it's still there. And fucking Gaza should be a parking lot. Fuck those people. And besides, those murderous Palestinians, they probably got murder in their genes. It's in their genes. You can't teach these people. You can't make them better. There's not going to be a two-state solution. They're monsters. It's an open-air prison? Good. It should be. That's the way he talks about them. He's called the Palestinians in Gaza a cancer, a problem you have to deal with quickly. And I got to tell you, there is no quick way to deal with a military incursion into a heavily populated civil area without killing a bunch of civilians. So if you even say that, what you mean is, I don't give a fuck. Kill as many civilians as you want, but finish it quickly. And anybody who's like, I don't know, the fucking Joe, genocide Joe, blah, blah, they're all paid assholes. They can't possibly believe any of that shit. You know how deluded and fucked up you have to be to think Donald Trump gives a rat fuck about Palestinians? For real. Do you think there's any hope of a two-state solution if Trump gets in with Netanyahu in place? For real. Ever. That's a one-state solution. West Bank becomes Transjordan or a part of Jordan again, or Israel and Jordan split it up into territories, and Gaza turns into a fucking parking lot until they decide to put condos in. That's what's going to happen if Donald Trump becomes president again. You know how I know? Because he said so, you dumb motherfuckers.
Other cut taxes in ways that no one has ever done, the largest tax cuts in history as a nation.
No, we didn't have the lowest tax cuts in history as a nation. Not even close. It's like the third lowest. And Reagan's beat his. And the ones for individuals were temporary anyways. It was a fucking bait and switch.
They recognized that under my father, they had 2.5% interest rates as opposed to 10% interest rates now.
Right. And if he hadn't fucked up the COVID response, our economy wouldn't have cratered. We wouldn't have to recover where it drove them back up. And the Fed raised interest rates. By the way, 75 basis points in 3 quarters in a row. For all the people like, the 50 basis points, we must be in terrible shape if they're in such a big cut. Like, they raised it 75 basis points every 3 months.
They recognized under my father, inflation wasn't out of control. You could afford to buy a 2x4 at Home Depot. You could afford it.
Look, easy there, King Craftsman. I know you're used to pouring cement, and the rest of us are all new to this whole construction idea. But I don't know if you know this, but Home Depot's numbers are just fine.
Eggs, you could afford bacon.
I can afford bacon. Most people can afford bacon. Costco has a lot of bacon. Lots of it. You know why Costco has a lot of bacon? Because they have overstock. Because production is really fucking high. You know why bacon's more expensive in the United States? Because it's less poisonous. Because it's got fewer toxins in it. Because it's thick cut compared to how other people eat it. That's why.
Right? And they also realize that this man does not need...
My father makes bacon every time he sits down. And I don't even know if you know this, Jesse, but my father is the reason why bacon. He's a bacon machine.
This job and goes out.
He lays eggs. That's what do you think he's doing when he's dancing like that? If you look down at the bottom of his pants leg, eggs are just rolling out for free because he's an egg machine. My father is like the egg king.
Tirelessly every single day to fight for each and every single one of them. And that's why he's not a politician in their eyes. And that's why they adore him. And that's why they came out in record numbers. And that's why...
Yeah, it's not record numbers. It's record for that space of ground, maybe. That field in Butler for a free event.
Why you had the emotion in that crowd that you had on that night. I mean, their hero almost lost his life,
Corey Comparator actually fucking died. And Trump did not almost lose his life. He could have been killed, in theory. But that's true of anybody downrange from those bullets. He was in no more danger than everybody behind him. As a matter of fact, he was in less because he himself was wearing a bulletproof vest, as he always does in these events, as a girdle. And he had people around him, Secret Service, that would jump on him and did jump on him in this situation, which nobody else had who was downrange from those bullets, as you can recognize from the people who are wounded and killed.
Some gunman almost took him from all of them, and
Oh, you mean that registered Republican dweeb who's a gun nut?
all of us.
How potent was it when Musk
So potent, dude. It was so potent. That's what I would. Yeah.
leaps up there
It was important and it was potent. It was, what's the word I'm looking for? Impotent.
and says what he said?
Well, you want to talk about another person that has courage, Jesse? It's Elon, right? I mean, he
Why?
does not need to be on that stage, you know, for himself. It probably doesn't help.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. He's up to his ass in hinky foreign money too, and he knows that Trump will cover for him. Why is this even a fucking mystery?
His businesses, and yet he does it because he realizes. I mean, he saw. I mean, literally, he saw the back data to Twitter and what they were doing and how they.
Yes, and he doubled down on all of it. He gacked up the algorithm to promote Nazi accounts, and he filled the fucking place with bots. What are you talking about? He literally has made it 10 times worse than what he said it was.
They were working with the government, how they were suppressing people's free speech.
They were not working with the government. They were not suppressing people's free speech. They were doing a pretty good job curtailing sex trafficking on there until he got on there, but...
Hey, they were doing it to you, Jesse, and they were doing it to me. They were doing it
No, they weren't.
to Fox News.
No, they weren't.
They were doing it to everybody who
No, they weren't doing it to anybody.
shared a difference of opinion of them.
No, nobody was getting kicked off of Twitter or being throttled because of a difference of opinion.
And, you know, this is a man who believes in the Constitution. This is a man who
Yes, he believes in suspending parts of the Constitution and eliminating others.
believes in free speech.
Yes, he's a free speech absolutist. He believes that child porn should be legal and everybody should be able to have a machine gun.
And this is a man who's willing to literally put his job and his companies on the line, even if it's
His companies? I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure the Saudi royal family owns the controlling stake in Twitter.
detrimental to them to come out and speak the truth. And I give that guy an incredible credit. Not
Yeah, he's sort of like he's like the calculator version of Mike Pillow
only
now.
is he a super genius. I mean, he lands a rocket, you know, I mean, every single day, another rocket just shot into the air. He's remarkable in terms of what he's accomplished. But
Yeah, he does none of that. Doesn't design any of this stuff. Literally, it's design teams. They do all that stuff. They're all basing it, by the way, on NASA material that they came in and just because it was public domain could effectively have access to. They didn't have to start any of their company from scratch. Fuck off.
But you want to talk about a guy with backbone? That's Elon. You don't see that many billionaires going out there and putting their chin out the way he does and
That's his belly, by the way. And what chin?
jumping like that.
Seriously, what chin?
I give him tremendous credit. He's an amazing person.
Yeah, see,
Of course you do, because you need Peter Thiel's money and you need his money, and your dad knows it. And these guys believe that if they can crash the dollar, they can replace it with crypto.
him up there with your dad and a Kennedy up there with your dad, there's something stirring.
Yeah. Again, let's talk about that Kennedy, shall we? So what's the current count on women he slept with during this most current campaign? I guess we don't count Olivia Nuzzi. They just exchanged sex and had an emotional affair. So he only fucked 3 women on the campaign trail that we know of, and then he had this affair with Olivia Nuzzi. So, that guy, and I'm not saying that his entire campaign to run for office was just a way of picking up some scattered ass across the country, fucking hippie anti-vaxxer chicks on the regular. Well, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Actually, that is what I'm saying. That's what it actually is. Yeah.
Everybody can feel it, that's for sure.
Yes, everybody can feel it like a boil.